And we also have a marketing coordinator who is not in today. Her name is Shauna White. So that is right now my team in the sales and marketing department. And we are excited to share this information with you. So thank you for logging on today.
So just maybe a couple housekeeping items. I think we're all unfortunately, we're very familiar with Zoom just because, right, since COVID, I'm sure this isn't your first time on Zoom, but we are going to mute people during the presentation. There is a chat function that you can certainly put information in or questions in, or hold your questions. But what I do want you to know is that we will, after the presentation, open it up and have questions and answers. So we will get to your questions and answers in a very personal fashion if you don't want to put those in the chat. And then, is there anything else, Amy, before I get started?
No,
we do mute you just because there's sometimes the doorbell ringing and dogs barking and it'll, so we will mute you. But at the end, we will unmute you. So use the chat in the meantime. Anything else, Amy, before I start sharing?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So I am going to share my screen. And you can give me just a second to get this going. Slideshow, here we go, from beginning. And you can tell me, can you all see a slide that says Mosaic Concierge Living? Amy, is it good?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So we introduced the Mosaic team and who is here today. Today's discussion, I'm going to touch a little bit on what is a life plan community, because after working in communities for 26 years, I know that it can be very confusing when we talk about terminology and different types of communities out there. So we're going to really just start with a little bit of basics and education on how communities work and create that foundation for you. You may know some of it, you may not. And then we will talk about the value of a life care contract and what that means. And then Amy will be presenting a lot of the details about Mosaic Concierge Living. And I think, Sandra, you asked about, are we going to take a peek at some of the renderings? And the answer is yes. Amy will walk us through not only some of the exterior renderings that we have, but some of the interior inspiration that our design team is working on. And then I'll kind of cover now at the end, wrapping up what are the next steps and where you are invited to join and become part of our early interest group, our priority membership program. And then we'll take questions and answers at the end. And if I can get my slide to advance, that'd be wonderful. Okay. It's a little difficult on Zoom once in a while. All right. So as you look ahead, I want you to think ahead 5, 10, 15 years. So what are your retirement living options? Meaning, where are you going to spend those years? And I hear from a lot of folks, well, the first option is staying in my home. And if we were in person as we were with a group yesterday, I would say, how many of you have lived in your home 30 years, 40 years, 50 years? And I bet it's that kind of length of time for some of you, most of you living in your own home. And so that may be, where you envision spending all of your future years. Or it could be that you haven't really thought much about it, and therefore your default is just staying put. Another option you might have considered is living in a retirement community. And some of you are thinking maybe, well, when I'm ready or when I need it or when this magical time comes, I'll consider it. There might be another option that you have, and this typically gets a lot of laughs, but you might also have the thinking that you'll move in with your kids. And I don't know if that's a realistic plan. might be a plan for you. It may not be a plan that they want to consider. So this obviously is something else that we hear sometimes could be an option for you. I want to pause about talking a little bit about the pros and cons of staying in your home. So the positives are you've lived there for a long time. It's comfortable. It's familiar. You know it. You have memories there. You have an emotional connection. You have lots of fond memories of holidays and times with kids and friends and family. And so there is that emotion and memory connection. Or it could be the thought of, well, I know that I would have a problem moving out of my home, but I have a lot of stuff and I don't know what to do with all this stuff I have in my house that I've collected over 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years of my life. So it may be a matter of your default is just, I'm going to avoid the hassle of moving, or I don't want to think about it until I have to. It may be a positive that you feel, and I sort of add the word sense here. You may feel like your home gives you a sense of independence. You know, I'm independent if I'm living at home. And I'm going to hopefully challenge that thinking today to think about a little bit more about the independence and the freedom and the choice and all of the benefits that you gain by considering a community such as Mosaic Concierge Living. Because I do think you have the sense of independence when you're in your home. I hear and have heard over 26 years, the people that do end up moving in say, wow, I have so much more independence to do things that I enjoy and love doing and don't have to worry about the upkeep of a home and the maintenance of a home and all of that good stuff. When we think about the challenges to moving into a community or staying in your home rather, there are some things that may come to mind. And again, I would ask you this live, but because we're on Zoom, I'll kind of go through those common things that we hear about. Some challenges to consider as you're looking 5, 10, 15 years ahead is the potential need for maybe some home modification or home maintenance. We hear a lot from people that, you know, my stairs are becoming an issue, or I am concerned that they will become more of an issue as I'm getting older. So how are those things going to be affected as you're aging in place? There's also some things to consider as far as, should I start needing a little bit more of supportive services? And that may be things like, you know, I don't want to go out and about. I don't want to cook as much. I don't want to go out and about and go to a restaurant as much. So thinking ahead of that potential need for having some support in your house and what those challenges are, not only with cost, but with the flexibility of finding the right person to come in and provide some in-home support. There's some challenges to consider with that plan. The other benefit or challenge that I think that happens is that isolation and loneliness. And I say that in the sense of lots of different factors, but you know, you probably have been in your home a long time and you had a neighborhood friends and family and lots of people in the area. And I think that as folks are getting older, they see that change of neighborhoods and they see people maybe moving and moving closer to their children or moving to a retirement community, or their health changing and they can no longer live there. And so our worlds kind of end up getting a little bit smaller. And I do think that there's factors to consider of why, you know, is it driving? Is it getting out and about? But that isolation and loneliness can really become real and more difficult as we're getting older. It could be a challenge in terms of staying in your home, that feeling of becoming a burden on family and friends, children who maybe have the need to provide you some of that help and support, or, you know, they're concerned that you are home alone. And wow, what if there is a health crisis? What is that going to look like for mom and dad? I will say delaying a move until there's a crisis is a terrible plan. Because if you're thinking, I won't move until I have to, basically what you're saying is I'm going to move out of my home when there's a health crisis. So now you're not only looking at the burden of moving and how difficult and the downsizing and all of that was with planning, but now you're also dealing with a health crisis. And those two things combined are the most stressful time to deal with. So it's really not a plan to say, I'll just wait until I have to. So there's some challenges to think about, or I want you to think about. So what is a life plan community? I have this graph because I really think that it just sort of explains what a life plan community is. There are lots of different community options out there, and you may have heard of these. You may have heard of active 55 plus neighborhoods where you live in a single story home, and it's all the neighbors are 55 plus, and maybe there's some programs and recreation and groups and clubs and things like that. But that's kind of where it ends in terms of support. And then there's rental, retirement, or independent living communities. And those may have things like some meal, dining venue, and it may have a fitness center, and it may, again, be age qualifying, but it doesn't provide any help or support if and when the time ever comes that you might need that. So another move would be necessary. So then there's the term assisted living, and you may have heard of assisted living communities that provide a little bit of help and support, say with medication management and supportive services, getting ready, or it's kind of those more physical ailments. Assisted living could provide also memory care support if that's ever a need for someone or a spouse. And then there's skilled nursing and rehabilitation, whether it be short-term rehab, I have a hip replacement and I need to go get some rehab for a few weeks, or long-term nursing needs. So all of those different types of retirement community are options. A life plan community covers all of those areas. Folks move in completely to independent and enjoy a lot of amenities and services you'll hear about in a few minutes, but then they have those additional healthcare areas should that need ever arise to have assisted living, memory support, and skilled nursing. It's all on one campus. So that is sort of the definition of a life plan community. Oops. So a life plan community is really looking at a retirement plan when you are active and independent. It's looking at the benefits and the programs that are on campus for independent living, older adults, and that plethora of wellness, and not only just physical wellness and programs and amenity spaces, but also the emotional, the spiritual components of wellness that really are a part of healthy aging. The other factor is it's a family decision. It provides families peace of mind that they know that their loved one has a plan should anything ever happen. We know where you're going to have those supportive services met, and I don't have to worry. It's a smart financial decision, not only because it provides significant savings should you ever need those supportive services, but it also provides a refund on whatever entrance fee it is that you pay when you move in that goes back to your estate someday. So your children have that nest egg that is secured. And then it is a plan for post-health events. We can never plan for the unexpected of health changes, but having that peace of mind knowing that that's taken care of at a life plan community is a significant benefit. I want to touch on quickly a couple different types of communities that life plan communities fall within. There is what is considered a type A contract or a life care contract. We will be offering life care contracts at Mozaic Concierge Living. There are two components of every life plan community. There's a one-time entrance fee, and then there is a monthly fee. We will get into a little bit of some samples of what those fees look like in a moment, but conceptually you have an entrance fee and a monthly fee. Typically, a life care contract entrance fee is higher because it encompasses future healthcare services at a significantly reduced rate. That entrance fee is sometimes fully or partially refundable, but it is considered somewhat part of a prepaid future healthcare, almost like an insurance plan, so that you can also plan your financial future. Residents are protected from those escalating costs of future care. Type B contracts have both still the entrance fee, monthly fee, and that entrance fee, again, can be partially or fully refundable. It includes some discount on future healthcare, but not significantly reduced discount on future healthcare. And then a type C is also called a fee for service, which means that you have that entrance fee, that monthly fee, again, partially, fully refundable. It can be different at different communities, but those healthcare services escalate based on if you have that need. So you may be in independent living, and then if you move to assisted living, you're going to pay the market rate of assisted living. You're going to pay the market rate of skilled nursing as you have those needs. You do get the benefit of type C communities of priority access to that healthcare on one campus. So not to get overcomplicated, I just want to conceptually focus on, we're not putting dollars to this right now, but if you were moving into a community that is just independent living rental, or you're looking at assisted living assisted living community, or directly nursing care, you can see costs just go up as needs change. So rental community goes up based on as those services increase. Same with that type C contract that's in the orange, goes up as you have those increased needs. The blue bar is really what I want you to focus on, which is the type A life care. So it's providing that predictability of some averages of what it would be when you have those future healthcare needs. It stays very consistent with independent living. So it's just sort of a visual to give you a little bit of an idea of how a life care community works. I'll give you examples of some dollars later. The other conceptual entrance fee refund plan I want to show you is, and with Mosaic Concierge Living too, when we have an entrance fee, it's similar to the cost of a home. And those dollars change based on the refundability that you select. So we will have a 0% refundable plan, a 50% refundable plan, and a 90% refundable plan. So if you look at the blue bar would be an example of moving in with a 0% refundable. That refund amortizes down over typically a 3 to 4 year period to a point where you're not getting anything back of that entrance fee after about a 3 year period, no matter how long you live at the community. Or you have the option to pay more in that same residence to get a 50% refundable, and that's the orange bar. And again, over a 3 or to 4 year period, it amortizes down, but you know that you or your estate or whoever you designate, your children or you donate it, whatever you want, 50% of that entrance fee is coming back to you if you move out of the community or after you pass away, when you've lived there 10, 15, 20 years, however long. So you can see that. The most popular, I would say, financial economical plan is then the 90% plan. So again, it stair steps up, you pay more on that 90% entrance fee, but you know that you are assured you or your state is getting 90% back of that amount someday. So a life care contract it creates value for planners like you who want predictability with costs of the future. You want and will enjoy those easy to access services and amenities that are at your fingertips to enjoy while you're independent, while you're active, while you still have a lot of life to live. And the community environment with friends, neighbors, and peers, I think we find that people say they feel more independent because then they're they're being an active part and enjoying a lot of things that are really available to them. They're creating friendships still. They're creating, meeting people that have similar interests, and there's programs and clubs and all of the great things that really keep you engaged with others. That is healthy for how long you and how well you live, by the way. It ensures the nest egg is secure for your future loved ones. So with that refundability option, they know they're getting something back, and that's probably what is important to you. There are tax deductions on portions of the entrance fee, or the monthly fees that you pay, because it is considered, a portion of it is considered healthcare. So you work independently with your financial person, but there are portions of it and percentages of it that are tax deductible, based on, what it's paying into with a life care. And it allows you to put a plan in place for your future. So I'm going to pass it over to Amy to talk a little bit about who we are.
Thank you, Ames. Thank you. So who we are is Mosaic Senior Life. That is the sponsor for Mosaic Concierge Living. Mosaic Senior Life was formerly, you might know, as Jewish Senior Services or the Jewish Home for the Elderly. We have been an organization for over 50 years, caring for the community in Fairfield County. We're recognized for our high quality of care, our selective staff recruitment process. We are a not-for-profit organization, and Mosaic Concierge Living will also be a not-for-profit community. And Mosaic Senior Life offers a full range of healthcare services, from home care, assisted living, memory care, and skilled nursing and rehabilitation, and beyond. I mean, we serve about 1,000 people a day in the community. We have about 300 people that live in the facility here on Park Avenue. We are also the only household model nursing home in Connecticut. Household model nursing homes exist across the country. And when this community or facility was being developed and built, the examination of what type of model are we interested in, the household model came up, which means there's about 14 residents that live within a household. So each household has its own staff. So you have that that really specific and one-on-one attentive staff that works with our residents that live within the household. We also offer a program called Mosaic at Home, which is similar to Life Care at Home. So it's a great place to work. It's a great place to be a part of. I'm proud to be part of Mosaic Senior Life, and I'm also very proud to be leading Mosaic Concierge Living. Our why of where we're going in Stamford is that we have had a long-standing goal to offer independent living. This has been at least a decade endeavor of finding the right location, finding the right partner to build this community with. We also have a tie to Stamford, where our original founders of the Jewish home were mainly from Stamford, and that was in the mid to late 60s. We're excited to provide a level of service that we know people are looking for, and we know that there is a large demographic that is aging into the areas of service that we're going to be providing. So we have been searching for land for a long, long time, and we finally did find this great location in Stamford on Long Ridge Road. And that is it in the circle. So on Long Ridge Road, there is 15 acres of undeveloped land. It is nestled between the Greenwich Medical Building and the Olin Corporate Office. And we also, the Ripawam River runs behind the property as well. So that piece of property was purchased in December of 2022. And we have been working behind the scenes with architects and construction companies and ready to, start to reveal what our building is going to look like. Most people can identify that location with the old Lord and Taylor building, which runs about adjacent to the property. So this rendering of the community, this is what our community is going to look like if you're looking out onto Long Ridge Road. So in the larger building is the main building, which will house most of our amenities and our wellness center and our health service area. We do have two smaller buildings to the right, which we're calling the manor buildings. Those will also be independent living residences with their own clubhouse. There is an underground corridor that connects the two buildings. So members that live in the manor area, they can get to the main building to enjoy the amenity spaces. As you can see, we are creating this beautiful park-like campus. We have pickleball courts, we have community gardens, there's courtyards, event lawns, and a lot of things to really get out, enjoy the campus outside of the building. So that's introducing Mosaic Concierge Living, the building itself. What I like to talk about is what's going to really create that community. And it's the commitment to the concierge living style. It's a lifestyle that we expect to embrace dreams, aspirations at any age, and we think it's a life that you would want to live. So our community will be comprised of 168 luxury residences of various sizes. We will have a 42-unit health service area that includes assisted living, memory care, and skilled nursing. Multiple gourmet dining venues that include a high-end steakhouse type of restaurant, as well as a cafe bistro for more casual fare, and a to-go market. So if you wanted to just pick something up and bring it either out to the outdoor courtyards or up to your residence, you can certainly do that. We will have a full equipped fitness center that will house a pool, a fitness studio for yoga, meditation, as well as equipment for workouts. This will have a salon with spa services, creative arts studios, and a theater room for the movie buffs and for the artists, multi-purpose space for presentations, lectures, continuing education, entertainment, and events. We will also have quieter areas like a library, lounge, club, and card rooms. And we will also have covered garage parking with valet services that also include electric vehicle charging stations. So that's the inside of the community. And as we showed you, the outside of the community is a walkable campus on 15 acres. It's adjacent to retail, shopping, and medical. It's a great location just north of the Bull's Head intersection of Stamford. We will have community gardens and planting areas for people who really enjoy digging in the dirt and planting gardens or flowers. The scenic walking trails with the dog park, as I mentioned, pickleball, bocce, and a putting green, fire pits with a courtyard to gather outside, butterfly gardens to attract all those pollinators as well. So we're really thinking outside of the box to create this beautiful environment that we think people will really enjoy being home and enjoying outside as well as inside. The independent living inclusive services. So those services that are included in your monthly service fee that Ames mentioned is the concierge service. And concierge service can mean a lot of different things to people. So we're really thinking that it could be as easy as calling the valet to pick up your car and bring it around, or retrieving your dry cleaning and bringing it up to your residence. But it also could be arranging transportation to the airport or to the train station, or tickets to a show, or reservations to a restaurant nearby. But so that would be the concierge idea that we are thinking about. All of the residents and community maintenance is also included. And that is the lawn care, the snow removal, the grooming of the grounds, and also the maintenance of the interior of the building, as well as your residence. And your property taxes and homeowners insurance are all encompassed in that in monthly service fee. So just to kind of reiterate, this is not a real estate transaction. This is more of a contractual agreement between you and Mosaic Concierge Living, that Mosaic Concierge Living will provide that healthcare that you deserve through your entire lifetime. Also included are utilities, and that includes Wi-Fi and cable. We are, implementing the most updated state-of-the-art technology into the community. And then your housekeeping and linen service, which entails laundering your sheets and towels and delivering them back to your residence. We will have transportation to surrounding areas, valet services, as I mentioned before. So if you're out shopping, or you came back and you've been out all day and you don't really want to go park your car, the valet can do that for you. But we will also have 24-hour security at the community. There, you will have a flexible dining credit. We are implementing a dining allowance similar to a country club, where you'd have a dollar amount to spend down throughout the month, however you want. So the choices are yours on how you want to spend that dollar amount. That has not been determined yet, but we will know that in the next few months. The health and wellness programs are also available and included for you to enjoy. So fitness classes, aerobics, aqua aerobics, a personal trainer, yoga classes, all of those programs that are designed to encourage an active, healthy lifestyle for our members of the community. The social programs also are designed around the members' interests and continuing education to really keep updated on current events, or have a happy hour on a Thursday night, or do a walking program, a walking group in the mornings. So the social programs are designed around, again, our members and what they're interested in. We will have secured underground parking, additional storage to keep those items that you don't necessarily need right in the residence, but luggage and seasonal items, to keep them out of the closet space in the residence. We're developing a partnership with UConn Stanford, so we hope to have programming at the community on a base, given by a UConn Stanford professor or adjunct, but also having the ability for our members to go to the campus and audit classes. And then again, as Ames mentioned, the priority access to health services is very important. That, where would I receive care if I need it? Who's providing the care? How much it's going to cost? And, everything in between all of those question marks when something happens, or if you need to schedule a surgery or something, what happens next. You don't have to worry about, is there enough space in this rehab facility. You would come back to Mosaic Concierge Living. And then our resident features, as I mentioned, we have 168 residents. Those are going to vary between sizes of 825 square feet up to just a little more than 2,000 square feet. That ranges from a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment to 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath with a den. All of the residents have contemporary floor plans, the open floor plans, large windows to let that natural light come in. Each residence has a private balcony. You'll have full-size kitchens with state-of-the-art appliances, full-size laundry appliances in every residence, walk-in closets, smart home technology, and Wi-Fi. So what is coming next? So I like to share some of our renderings of what the design team and architect team is developing. And this is the main building where the porte cochere, where you pull up to the main entrance. Perhaps the valet is going to park your car, or you're dropping some things off for the concierge to bring up to your residence. But as you can see, we are creating a beautiful classic community that is complementary to the area of the to the area surrounding us. These are the manor buildings that you enter in there. It's a entryway with where your mail would be delivered. A social groups can gather there. But as you can see, we're not a high rise. We're 3 and 4 stories. Each residence has its own balconies. And again, that's large, expansive windows to bring all the natural light in. I'd like to also talk to you about the design inspirations from our design team at Perkins Eastman. They have created this beautiful palette. They're calling it Coastal Elegance, which I love. The soft colors of the muted salmons and grays and blues, but also rich textures in the fabrics and the carpeting, and beautiful sleek molding and attention to detail in that tile flooring. So we're excited about what is going to come. When you walk into any beautiful hotel or resort or building, the first impression is important. And we believe that is going to be the case for Mosaic Concierge Living, with the higher ceilings, the welcoming reception area, the open living rooms as you walk in, and this beautiful library, as you can see, but also just the attention to detail on the crown moldings, as well as the handles and on the doors and the light fixtures and things like that. Our coffee area, casual dining, great place to meet friends for coffee or have a light meal or grab a to go as you're on your way out or on your way in. But again, just creating the environment that you gather together, that you're here, we're all here together, and that you're gathering and becoming a community of friends and peers. Very important when you're moving into a community, and that's the community we are building right now. Our fine dining will have the ambiance similar to a steakhouse. We'll have outdoor dining as well. So again, just these beautiful colors and rich textures and this beautiful lighting ambiance that is being created, with a bar and a lounge and private dining rooms as well. So we expect you to have your family over. If you'd like to reserve that private dining room, we have a few, and that's important. Life enrichment at a life plan community is probably one of the most important aspects of being part of the community. We want our members to be active, engaged, social, and creating spaces for that to happen is exactly what is happening here. A screening room to enjoy a movie together, or a dining room to have dinner with your neighbor, sitting outside in the courtyard playing bocce or attending a creative arts class, really adds to the quality of life that our members will have. And then our wellness center is designed to stay active and healthy. We will have a 4-lane lap pool that will also feature aqua aerobics classes and other things. The fitness studio will have the state-of-the-art equipment. We'll have a personal trainer on staff to advise you and help you create your own independent exercise program. A golf simulator room. So for those golfers that want to continue to practice their swing on and off the course, and during the off season, it's available, and we're going to create like a kind of a club room in there too. So it becomes like maybe we have a golf club. So that would be fun. But also, as you can see, we will have changing rooms with saunas, as well as our salon will have massage rooms too available. The residences, again, curb appeal outside of the community, but we're kind of considering curb appeal in the corridors of the residences. So as you go to your residence, you'll have this beautiful entryway going into the residence with all of the highest end materials, the quartz countertops, the sleek, beautiful cabinetry, the accessible bathrooms, as well as just a spa-like environment in the bathrooms. But the open floor plans are very important. And we going to be just lovely, and all of your selections are going to be beautiful. We'll have a lot of different things for you to choose from. So we feel the possibilities are endless at Mosaic Concierge Living, and we are excited to share what's coming up. Thank you.
I'm there. Hopefully you can see me. If I can, again, get my slide to advance. So I want to wrap up with a little bit more detail on financial considerations and how it will work. I know what you're thinking. You're saying, great, that's wonderful. How much is it? Tell us more detail. So we talked about the financial considerations. There's 2 fees to consider. There is an entrance fee. That is the one-time fee. We anticipate, or we know that the entrance fees will start around $599,000. That will be in 2027. The community is anticipated to open in 2027, early 2027. So the pricing is locked in for folks that make a reservation. When you make the reservation, you're locking in pricing. So as far as the timing, I'm going to walk through the timing in just a moment, but when we put the dollars around it, the price of the entrance fee will be based on a couple of things. One is the size of your residence. Amy spoke about the range of square footage and the location and the views and all of that good stuff. That is a factor of the size of residence. Typically, people sell their home when they move in, and they utilize the proceeds from their home to pay that entrance fee. There are different refundability options. I walked through the visual of a 0% refundable, a 50% refundable, and a 90% refundable. So every residence that you select not only has, based on size, location, and view, but it is also based on what refundability works best for you. This is a life care contract, which means that you are ensuring that predictable cost of future healthcare at a significant savings. People do commonly ask, well, if there's 2 of us, what is the cost for 2 of us living in the residence? The entrance fee for the residence that starts at $599,000 is for 1 person. There's typically a second person entrance fee that will be for the amenities and services, as well as getting that life care benefit long term. So it's nominal compared to the entrance fee for 1 person. So that gets added on if there is a second occupant. It's a flat rate, same rate for every residence. So if there's a second person in any size residence, there is that rate for the second person. Then there is the monthly fee. The monthly fee is what is inclusive of all of the services and amenities that Amy spoke about and what's included. Again, that is based on the size of your residence. And then those will start at $6,595 per month. And that is considering cost of living increases that are anticipated. So that would be for the monthly fee in 2027. The other things to consider when you look at, okay, it's all inclusive of all of these things, but when you're looking at moving from your home, a couple other things to consider are you're not going to have property taxes anymore. You're not going to have homeowners insurance. You don't need to worry about maintenance, lawn care, snow removal, or home repair. So if your appliance breaks, for example, or you have a leaky faucet, you don't need to worry about costs of maintaining that. That's taken care of by Mosaic Concierge Living. If there is a second occupant, again, in the residence, there's a monthly fee for that second occupant that it will start around, which will be $1,900 a month. And that gets that second person, those services and amenities, that life care benefit, as well as the meals. So I want to look a little bit closer to what do you mean by significant savings of future healthcare benefits, and what is the value of that life care contract for me now into the future. So I want to just touch on this slide to say, if you were to move directly into assisted living because there is a need, today or in 2027, because I've only escalated this a little bit, but you would be looking at an average rate of about 11,000, over 11,000 a month for assisted living. If you were moving in directly from your home, the market rate, and this is around this Fairfield County, memory care is averaging over 15,000 per month. If you were needing private pay skilled nursing, so Medicare does not cover long-term skilled nursing, you would be paying a monthly average of about 21,000 a month. When you move to a life care community, Mosaic Concierge Living, how that works is, should you move from your independent living to a higher level, the rate that you go to is the average independent living rate on campus. That will be $9,149. So should you have the need, for example, for assisted living, memory care, or skilled nursing, your monthly rate for your independent living residents, for every resident that lives there, goes to that $9,149. That is a monthly savings off of market rate, if you didn't live in a life care community, of anywhere from $2,400 a month if it's assisted living, to over $11,000 a month to skilled nursing. So you can see the annual savings of being a life care member. Significant savings. So that's where we say it's a significant savings of future healthcare should you ever need that. The health services that we have on campus will be the assisted living, which will comprise of 1 and 2 bedroom residences. The memory care will be a household model, just like our Bridgeport community. And that will be all private rooms and private bathrooms. And then the skilled nursing will be a household model with all private rooms and private bathrooms. Again, that will be quality healthcare services. We've been doing this for 50 years, so you're getting top tier healthcare services should that need ever arise. So I want to go to the time frame and the timeline that we're looking at. So starting at early 2027, you're thinking, wow, that's so far ahead. Talk to me then. Well, there's a lot of things that happen in advance of this. We began what we call our priority reservation program when we secured the land in Stanford. What we did is in December of 22, we started marketing, this concept of Mosaic Concierge Living, and exactly what you're hearing today. We've been marketing to folks around the area for nearing a year. During that time, there's been a lot of behind the scenes work that the design team and construction team has been developing and finalizing the floor plans, the pricing, working with our architect, Perkins Eastman, our interior design firm, and our general contractor, and finalizing all of those details so that when we have all of those details, which we're coming up on, giving those details to our priority reservation members. So the folks that join the priority reservation program are going to be the first to hear about all of the details. And that is happening January 10th, 11th, 12th, and 16th. We are hosting what we call our first look seminars, which will be a lot of information and detail on the pricing and the floor plans, and you'll see and feel all of that good stuff. We go directly to those priority members first, and we give them the opportunity over the month following, so starting in early February, to reserve a residence. In order to reserve a residence, they would place a 10% deposit of the entrance fee cost of whatever they're reserving, that then goes into an escrow account in their name that earns interest. And that is a completely refundable deposit reserving a residence up until the community opens. That escrow account is in your name. It's refundable at any time for any reason, but what it does is it holds a specific residence for you. And during the years coming up, We work very closely to develop a sense of community, to help you through the process of downsizing, to have you start thinking about the real estate market and what that looks like, and when you should time the plan to move in 2027. The construction will begin. I think, Sandra, you asked before everyone joined, when does construction begin? When we have reserved at least 70% of the residences of the 168, we secure the final financing, and then we begin construction. And we anticipate that to happen about 12, 13 months from now. So to join the priority reservation program, because we are nearing kind of the end of the priority reservation program and we'll be moving into the pre-sales, there is no risk, obviously, to join, but it is a $1,000 refundable deposit, and it locks in some very lucrative benefits. I'm going to cover those in a second, but it does empower you to see everything, feel everything, and make a decision on if you want to reserve a residence before we begin marketing this to the general public. So this priority group is almost like a VIP group of people who've raised their hand and said, I like what I'm hearing. I need more information in order to decide what I want to do. And that information is coming to them the second week of January. So some of those benefits, which are significant, are priority membership will get you an automatic 5% discount off of the entrance fee. So whatever the rates and standards are that we present next year or early January, you would have an automatic savings of 5% off of. This will be the lowest the entrance fees will ever be. Of course, prices will always go up, but you, as you're reserving a resident, lock in those prices. You'll get a $5,000 credit on upgrades. So when the time comes for us to begin personalizing the residences, you get to choose the color schemes and all of the amazing things from flooring to countertops to cabinetry and all that good stuff. But you'll also have the opportunity to do upgrades and really personalize it and make it your home. You'll get that $5,000 credit. The biggest other benefit, I think, other than the 5% off the entrance fee, is that for those priority folks, we will not be doing a 90% refundable contract. We are changing that just for them to a 95% refundable contract, which means that you will be getting a 5% savings on the front end of when you're moving in, but your estate is going to get an extra 5% on the refund end when you move out or pass away. Lifetime second person fee discount of $100 a month. So if there's two of you, you're getting $100 a month off the monthly fee. First 2 months free when you do move in 2027. And again, a lot of receptions and programs and seminars to help people get ready and make this decision and make sure that it's the right decision as the next couple of years come to fruition. Sample pricing, just to use easy numbers. If you were looking at a residence that you fall in love with and say, okay, this is $1 million. This entrance fee is $1 million for this residence, and you're a priority member, you're getting 5% savings, which means that your entrance fee is now $950,000. You have a $50,000 savings by being a part of the priority program. In addition, that $950,000, which normally would be a 90% refundable, means that your estate would be getting back about $855,000. Instead, you would be getting a 95% refundable contract, meaning when you pay that $950,000 and you live at the community 10, 15 years, your estate will always be insured to get back $902,500. Means again that's a $47,000 savings of that premium rent entrance fee refund. Plus, we added the $5,000, 2 months free of monthly fees, potentially a second person discount. I just sort of looked at an average of 10 years. That would be $12,000 of savings. By joining the Priority Reservation Club with a $1,000 refundable deposit, you'd lock in, on this example, $127,000 of savings. So we have been, you know, having a lot of people join the priority program, and those that are really thinking, I want this information to be able to make a decision in January, February-ish. We invite you to do that. We're able to do that by credit card. You're able to do that by check. We'll definitely work with you on whether you want to do it by check or credit card. But again, completely refundable. So if this is something that you even remotely think could be a possibility, definitely encourage you to place that $1,000 deposit. There's nothing to lose by doing it. So I'm going to stop sharing because we just went over a lot of information, and I want to open it up to questions. Who has the first question? Just maybe raise your hand. Do we have anything in chat? No, not yet. Okay. Or put it in chat, but we can unmute you. And Paul.
2 words. Pet friendly.
Yes.
Thank you.
There will be a dog run. What kind of pet do you have, Paul?
I thought a very distinguished cat.
Oh,
Fabulous.
yep. We want you to bring your
4-legged
furry
friends.
friends.
Sandra has a question.
Yes, Sandra.
Hi.
When living in independent living and you break a leg and you need some assistance, what are the expenses for that?
So there's a couple what if scenarios in that. You break a leg, you go to the hospital, you have surgery, you need rehabilitation. You would go to our skilled nursing rehab, and you would get rehab that would be covered by your Medicare replacement, however long you need that, short-term, long-term, whatever,
Right.
however long that gets covered by your Medicare. And then you would return to your independent living. You could get some support with in-home care, right? Coming to your independent living residence, or you can stay in skilled nursing or even assisted living, and pay privately if it's temporary.
Okay.
So there's options.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Rich, Paul, Claude, Linda.
Nothing right now. I'm going to need to run shortly, but this has been very, very helpful. Thank you.
Good.
We'd love to reach out to you in the next couple of days to answer any questions that you have. Anybody?
So we have a poll. I'm going to launch a poll that is going to show up on your screen. And if you can take a peek, what it shows is it says, how are you feeling based on what you've heard today? And just select one of these answers. One is, you're feeling good. You'd like to place a deposit and get on the priority list and secure those benefits. Maybe it's that you still have some more questions and would like to speak to Janice or Amy. The third option, maybe you're not interested in securing the benefits of the priority membership, but keep me posted as it goes along. And then hopefully you're not choosing, but you may, as you've known a little bit more, you're not sure it's for you now or in the future. And so we hope that's not the answer, but if it is, please let us know kind of what you're feeling right now. This gives us a help over, just your thoughts. So if you could take a moment and answer that question, click on it. I know a couple of you have answered, and I'll end it in just a moment. If you haven't answered it yet, it just kind of helps us get to know where you're at right now. All right.
I have, I guess I'm unmuted. Okay. I
Yes.
have one further question here. One of the elements that hasn't been mentioned, and I come to this with a comparison to an arrangement that was reached for members of my own family in another part of the country, where not only religious identity, but religious observance was part of the deal. Has there any thought been given? I know there's no discrimination and no bar involved here, but I've got something ethnoculturally in common with what we're bringing to this. What about availability of religious services, possibly of the Jewish persuasion?
That's a great question, Paul. And again, we even here at Mosaic Senior Life, we observe Jewish services. We also observe Catholic Mass.
Yeah.
So we expect to be a non-sectarian community, but we'll be respectful and observe all traditions. A lot of times the residents drive that as well. So, there could be a Shabbat group, but there could
as far as
also
on
be
premises staff or chaplaincy or anything like that, that's not been
that has
that's
not been
envisioned at
determined,
the
but
moment.
right. But that multi-purpose event room is a
Yeah.
great spot for services, especially on Friday evening Shabbat or Sunday morning Mass for our Catholics and
But
Christian
it's
friends.
so, in other words, it's an individual discretion thing,
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
which conforms, of course, to the way things are, and of course is in total accordance with the law. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And just to add, while we're open and welcoming to all, and we'll be supportive of any faith, I will say that it's important to say that we are a not-for-profit organization, and we are a uniquely not-for-profit or life plan community in this area, because other communities very close to us are for-profit. And I think it's one of the big differentiations, but the difference is
that's one of the things I was going to ask, Ames, whether you're sort of benchmarking yourself against, let's say, Waterstone, for example.
Yes.
Moreover, even the other life plan community in Stamford, Waterstone's a very different community than we are. And will be, but comparative to Edge Hill, which is another life plan community in the Stamford area, which is a for-profit community with an owner, with a corporation behind it. We have the strength of Mosaic Senior Life and its 50 years of service out to the community. The mission is specifically for the best quality of care for the people we serve.
But as I'm examining some of the documents that have popped up, there are some for-profit stakeholders involved at this early stage, if I'm not mistaken. You may be able to confirm or disconfirm that.
So in terms of like the architect and the development and the general contract, those companies that get hired.
There's a developer involved here.
Well, they don't have an ownership interest.
So this is simply a contractual thing for them.
Correct. We've been hired. Those partners in the development have been hired to develop it for Mosaic Senior Life, which is a not-for-profit.
So in the direct sense, they're not stakeholders.
Right. Correct. That makes us very different, and our why is different. So, good question.
But also, just to really clarify, like a not-for-profit organization doesn't mean that the organization doesn't make a profit. It
just has to be allocated.
The profits get reinvested back into the community, which is a healthy way to, have a kind of like a checks and balance.
Because a deficit is a deficit. Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the mission of the overall organization.
The mission is really important. Yeah. Because we consider ourselves a faith-based organization, but open to all faith. Thank you for that question. Anyone else? No. Well, we appreciate you joining us today, and great questions. Janice and I are here to answer questions. If you don't mind, we'll reach out over the next couple days just to follow up and to see if there's any other clarification that we can offer you. And the priority reservation program is available to you, and we hope that you consider joining us.
Well, thank you all. I hope everybody feels the same way. I'll be
Thank you.
looking for that follow-up because that'll give me an opportunity to ask one or two things.
Excellent.
And I'm going to
Terrific.
excuse
We'll
myself
certainly
at
do
this
that.
point with great thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Same to you.
Indeed so,
Thank
indeed so,
Safe and
everyone.
happy
Thank you for
Thanksgiving.
all the assistance today. Appreciated. Yeah.
Thank you, Sandra. It was nice of you to join.
Bye now.
Thank
Bye.
you. Have a good day, all.
You as
as
well.
too.
Bye now.